Hey, yep, there we go. Who's ready to make some magic today, or at least talk about how you can make magic in your business? Hi, this is Tina Lorenz. Thanks for joining me today. I'm broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, and I just finished 10-day visit to Disney World. So it's really been top of mind that as I've had that experience and thinking about how can we infuse more magic into our business and what can we learn from Disney World. So today we're going to talk about marketing lessons from Disney World and Disney in general, really, because this is all about making magic, making memories, and yeah, let's not forget making some of this. Yeah, that too. We want to make some money in this process. And so there's a lot to learn from Disney. Now, damaging admission, I am not one of those, I haven't been traditionally through my life, one of those like super crazy fans of Disney. It just hasn't been my thing. I ended up going more into Disney because of my granddaughters, who I happen to be in a family that is pretty Disney crazy. So I've never been one to be buying all the paraphernalia, wearing Mickey Mouse shirts or anything like that. But as I've matured in my business as well, and just seeing the joy and experiencing that joy with my family when we've gone there for these extended visits, I can't help but look at the marketing and look at how it's all come together, because that's just how I think, right? That's just kind of got that marketing mindset. So, I'm sure you're familiar with Disney, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere. You've probably heard the name. I did grow up on Mickey Mouse Club, the original one with Annette Funicello and all the Mouseketeers, and I actually did love that as a child. And I did have my own pair of ears. That's just one aspect of their marketing. You know how many types of ears there are now? I mean, there are ears for every occasion. But I remember when I was a kid, I just had the black felt hat with the little rubber bow for the girl hat, right? And so Disney started in 1923 with Walt and Roy Disney, the brothers, with a vision for what could be, starting in California with Disneyland, right? And I was born in California, so I experienced the California version. And they started it in 1928, and then Mickey Mouse was born in no, they started in 23, and he was born in 28. I don't know if you've noticed, because I don't watch this stuff, but the granddaughters were the new short cartoons. They've gone retro on how they all look. They look like the original characters, but with some modernization to them. I kind of don't like that actually, but they're bringing back kind of the retro Mickey and Minnie and Daffy and Daisy and the whole crew, right? So the main thing to know, though, is what the Disney organization, the conglomeration, the empire that it's grown into, they are brilliant marketers. They're genius marketers. And this is about marketing, how this all has grown, how it's come together, how it continues to flourish. I don't know if you've heard the news, but Disney Plus streaming has just surpassed Netflix within just a few years. I think it was 3 years. They are now streaming more shows than anyone else online. So I mean, they really go with the trends. They know how to continue to evolve and grow their business in various ways that appeals to the wide vantage point of their audience. And they're just prolific creators. Now, all of these things are things that you should be thinking about. Well, how could I apply this in my business? Maybe we're not all going to grow to be the Disney empire, right? But you can do this in your small corner of the world online. It doesn't take a huge, massive audience to have a really successful and very profitable business. So they're prolific creators. That's the first thing. They're continually creating new experiences, new parts of the park. On this trip, we actually went to the Star Wars area of the park, which is new within just the last couple of years, and new to a lot of us, because a lot of people weren't going to Disney over the past couple of years. There were a lot of restrictions, and there's actually a whole different way that you consume Disney now because of that. But had my son-in-law there, and he's the pro, the pro that knows how to plan the whole thing. So we just followed him around, but we went into that aspect of the park, and every area of Disney World has its own feeling, its own vibe, its own atmospheric conditions, and you see it reflected in the people around you. It is the most incredible location for people watching. Is even though it was very challenging to be here at this time of year, it was very hot, very humid. Had some big storms in the afternoon a few of the days, but mostly the heat and humidity and the trekking that you're doing is pretty challenging. But yet there were people in the Star Wars area wearing the long brown capes. They were wearing black cloaks. They were wearing, that grown up people are completely dressing up in the mode of the characterization of that particular park or the stories. And then, of course, all the gift shops are geared to, in that area, the marketplaces, they call them, are geared to whatever location you're in, that the predominant feature of the things that you would buy are geared to that area. So, I mean, it's really incredible, the marketing machine of it. They create iconic products. What is their product? Their product is everything about the parks, all the things that go with it, the Disney Plus streaming, but they create iconic products that go on and evolve. They have some of the original aspects of design at the park, and then they have the brand new, really high-tech experiences. And yes, I did go on the Star Wars ride twice. And yes, I did scream and laugh all the way through it. So, but they also believe in value-based pricing. So what does that mean? That means it's based on the customer perceived value. Now, that's really something that you should be thinking about in your business. What is the perceived value? How are you creating the perceived value in your business that then helps you set the pricing? Because it doesn't all have to be rock bottom, as evidenced by going to Disney. Very expensive place to go. And it's getting more so that some of the rides, the new rides, you actually, even though we had park hopper tickets, we had the whole complicated thing of what parks we could go to, 5 different days, different levels, you had to still pay extra for some of these super duper rides. And my son-in-law was telling me that particular Star Wars ride, when they first opened it, which just in the last couple of years, the wait was something like, I can't remember how many minutes, but it was like 3 to 5 hours of waiting to go on the ride. Now, some of it is virtual lines, but also if you didn't have all that set up, people were literally standing in line for 2 and 3 hours and more to get on the ride that lasts, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe a little longer than that. Might have been a little longer because it's very experiential with various levels that you're moving through. But the point being, people will pay, and they will pay a lot to be able to do all these things. We rented a golf cart. We've stayed at Fort Wilderness with the mobile office. I'm in the mobile office right now. Very expensive RV park, right? So you're not only doing that, then if you didn't bring your own golf cart, then you're renting one to the tune of almost $100 a day to have the golf cart just so you can just go around the park. They call it looping. You go around the loops of the park. So, I mean, there's all these extras that they have created, and people consume like crazy. The golf cart rental is sold out every single day. You have to reserve way ahead of time to be able to have one. So all of these things. So how do you do this in your business? I'm going to cover 4 points that I see in the whole orchestration of Disney, Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Empire, of what they're doing and how you could apply it to your business. So please keep that in mind as we go through these points today, because these are all things that we can apply to our businesses now. So the first one is, let's see, number 1. There it is. Tell stories. Tell stories that make you feel something, make you feel something, make your clients feel something. This is something Disney is masterful at. Everything they do is a story. So I was reading up on Disney World, and Walt Disney told the crew when they were first starting to build in the 20s, when they started building Disneyland in California, he said, "You're not laying bricks, you're building a castle." And just think about that the way he envisioned this, of this isn't just, a brick wall we're building here. We're building a castle. It might as well have said we're building wonder. We're building an experience. We're building a dream that's going to come true for all the people that experience this. And so this is building from the inside out with heart. And I'm imagining the construction crew may be going, never thought about it like that before. But when you can infuse that into your team, into your support people, and the people that you work with, of that esprit de corps, that feeling of what are we doing here in the first place, and building that from the inside out. I kind of just love that whole imagery of that we're not laying bricks, we're building a castle. And so why do we do this? You want to be relatable. You want to have the emotion in your story. So that was all part of his story, right? That was going to evolve, the story of the castle. And so it has to be relatable, has to be emotional, overcoming struggles, inspirational, aspirational. Everything at Disney and in the movies, all of this, in the whole franchise, there's struggle, there's drama, scary sometimes. I mean, even considering that this is geared to children, some of the stuff's pretty scary, like Maleficent, characters like that are threatening, or is the bad guy going to win, or the evil one's going to take over? What will the outcome be? And there's always lessons woven through all of that, woven through those stories. So how do you do this in your business? You do it by same way, being real, being relatable, being reliable also in your business and how you tell your stories. So remember, ultimately, the stories that you tell in your business, and when we talk about telling stories in a business, it's not just a verbal thing. It's not just a video kind of a format. It's all about, it might be your journey. It might be the epiphany you had. It might be until you discovered. It might be something that you've overcome. But you have to remember to keep the story client facing very quickly in our business. It's not going to go on and on with many chapters like it might in a Disney movie. It's going to be very quickly turned towards your clients and how it affects them. Why should they care? Creating an emotional experience, some type of shift in how someone is believing or thinking or perceiving. These are all things that can happen with how we tell our stories. Help your reader, your prospect, your clients see themselves in the story. They have to be the center of the story. Just like when you're going on the Disney ride and you're fighting off the evil empire in Star Wars and you're commanding the ship or whatever you're doing on the ride. I don't want to give away the whole thing, but it's pretty dramatic, pretty sensational, that you get caught up in that it's time to fight, it's time to secure justice, all of these things you're experiencing it as if it were really happening just in that moment and get caught up in that. So help your clients and your prospects see themselves in your story. That's how you make it client facing. And use stories as analogies. Sometimes instead of data, dry facts and figures, it can be a story. It's kind of like, if you're trying to figure out how to do that in the story, just in brief right now, a little hint for you as the copywriter, if you're writing a script or you're writing your copy, is that you can literally say it's kind of like, and use that as an example. Use some kind of an analogy that represents the story you're telling, not just the dry facts and figures. So that's another way you can weave stories in. Number 2, we want to, let me just get right here, sell the results. What do I mean by that? Disney's always selling the results, right? That's right from the beginning. That's what they're doing, because it's always more than the obvious. I say this all the time about writing copy, because what do? I teach and mentor copywriting and marketing strategy and how to go deeper into your business, how to go from the 6 figures to the 7 figures to the 8 figures as far as the growth of a business. Disney sells magic. That's what they do all day long. And so when you sell the results, you're selling the outcome. You're selling not just the widget, not just the thing. You're not just getting a ticket to go to an amusement park when you go to Disney, right? You're getting the magic. You're immersing yourselves in it as you enter into it. When we drive up to the park, there's the big giant sign that's welcoming you. And you just sort of feel that as you drive under this arch. And they literally have signs all over the place that no stopping under any circumstances. You know how many people want to do that and stand there and we made it, and get their photo op, but they have giant signs everywhere that you must not stop, keep going. And when you leave, there's the reverse side of that says, see you real soon. And that's what they used to say on the Mickey Mouse Club way back in the day. That was part of their song that they sang at the end of the show, see you real soon. And so they still are using that nostalgia. And so it's happiness. They're selling happiness and memories and nostalgia and joy. What are you selling in your business? What are you selling that's beyond the obvious? I have copywriting programs. I teach you how to write headlines and bullet points. But what I sell is so much more than that. I sell shifts in thinking, shifts in belief, mindset shifting, and transformational experiences that people change in their entire lives, not just how they write copy, but also how they approach that and how they go deeper with their clients. So all of those things. And so why do we want to do that? Because people buy for how something makes them feel or benefits them. They're not just buying the thing. They're looking for the result. They're looking for the outcome. They're looking for the benefit. That's what we really buy when we're buying things. For example, if we buy a new Jeep, we're Jeep people. What are we buying? Are we buying 4 wheels and some seats and a horn and a steering wheel? That we could do that in many, many different ways, right? No, you're buying fun. You're buying adventure. You're buying being part of a community. I'll get to that in just a minute, but you're buying an experience. You're buying the Jeep wave, all of the things that go with a Jeep, right? Or being able to go off road and have those crazy adventures and go into the backwoods or on a back road in Utah or wherever you want to go. If you're buying, like, for example, we bought a new internet system, Starlink, Elon Musk system for global internet, right? So we didn't just buy it so that we had a funny rectangular satellite dish to hang on the back of the RV. We bought it because it's faster. We bought it because it's portable. We bought it because we can go anywhere and put up our satellite and have an internet connection as we're traveling. We have it, we're using it right this very minute for this. And we'll find out if it holds together, right? But that's, we invested heavily in that as opposed to other ways we could have internet, right? Not just because we thought it was a great looking satellite dish or something, right? So how do you do this in your business? How do you apply this in your business? You want to think bigger. You want to think about the customer journey. You want to think about the experience that they have. Why you are the ultimate answer. Go beyond the obvious. It's not about how many modules you have or how many videos you have. In fact, some of us, and I'm guilty of over delivering, where we think, we want our clients to have everything. So maybe we're giving so much, right? But what they really need is the transformation and even speed of that transformation. How quickly can they shift into? How fast can they become a freelance copywriter? How quickly can they start making money with it? It might mean a different home. It might mean having more flexibility in traveling and being able to work from wherever. All of these things are the result, the actual bigger result of what they get when, for example, you join in one of my programs, right? So what do they get from you in your business, in your program, in your product? And how can you create this if you're a service provider? What kind of experience can you provide that goes beyond the obvious, and how you create that atmospheric condition? So this is why we draw from the lessons of Disney, right? Of the same kind of things that we can do in our business. So number 3, let's be memorable. Okay. Really, what can you do in your business that makes you memorable? It makes you stand out. You've probably heard people refer to the blue ocean and the red ocean, that difference of the waters that are teeming with competition, the piranhas and the craziness and all that. And you're just kind of glommed in there with everybody else. And it's a red ocean. Or the blue ocean, that clear blue water where you're standing out on your own because there's something different and memorable about you. There's something unique about why you would be the solution. So how do you do that? Well, Disney said something, I kind of paraphrase this quote. So I'll take a look at my note here. But whatever you do, do it well, and do it so well, I'm just paraphrasing, that when people see it, they want to come back for more. They want to experience it again. And not only that, they want others to experience it too. And so they bring people. What's the business equivalent of that for most of us is referrals, right? Testimonials, sharing the experience. We were waiting for one of the rides that we were in the middle of the actual experience of the Star Wars ride. And there was a man in front of me who had obviously been on the ride before, and he couldn't stop talking about what the grown kids that he was with, these were all like grown-ups, not little tiny kids, about what they were going to experience. And he was like kind of setting the scene and adding to the drama, because he wanted to share that experience with people that meant something to him. He wanted to have that experience with them. Just like my family and I, we wanted to have the experience together as well, and seeing the smaller kids react to everything. So Disney goes above and beyond this all the time. Now, you've probably heard the quote, so why do they do this? And why should you do this? I've looked up this quote before. It's been attributed to Zig Ziglar. It's been attributed to Maya Angelou. But it's basically that people will forget what you say. They're going to forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember every word of an email. They're not going to remember everything you said in a webinar, but they will remember the feeling that was created by your words, by the power of your words, by the intent that you bring to it, by the mission of what you're doing. I experience this all the time, just both in writing webinar scripts for clients and my own, that they may not be able to remember. Your clients may not be able to remember every single thing you said, but they remember the feeling. And you may get emails saying that I related to this, or this is just like something I'm going through, or you don't know how timely this is for me right now. That's a feeling that you can create. And there's this other really interesting aspect of this. It's called the halo effect. Now, without going deeply into the science of it, it was the research on this was by 2 Israeli psychologists who actually apparently won the Nobel Prize for the research on this. And the simplest terms about it, it's that people anchor their bias and decisions based on prior information. They're anchored to that. That's kind of an NLP expression also, but it's how they continue to make a decision is based on the original experience that they had. In other words, the halo effect is how people make decisions based on how they were made to feel, how they felt about something. And so that it's confirmation bias also, where they already have kind of a decision about something because of something they've experienced and something that made them feel a certain way. And so they call it the halo effect, which I thought was kind of cool for Disney also. So how can you create a halo around your business? How can you create a halo effect that how do you make your customers feel? What can you do to create that effect in your business? So how can you do that? So one way is by remembering your clients. Sometimes the businesses get so big and we can't always remember every single person, right? But you can really develop more of a relationship, no matter how large your audience is or how big your client base is. Find a way to be able to connect with them at a personal level, if possible, now and then, that type of thing. So recently I did one of my cash flow copywriting challenges, and there was just a lovely woman on there by the name of Mame. She had an unusual name, right? And she was, believe she was living in the UK, and she had her little child with her on the challenge. She was on the challenge VIP in the Q&A. And so when she was asking some questions, she was often holding the baby, and the baby looked very much like her, and in fact shared her first name. And so I called her Mini Mame, right? And I referred to her baby as that during the challenge. Well, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and just was like greeting me and saying, I was in your challenge. And I answered her, oh, of course I remember you. And how's Mini Mommy, right? Just that one little thing, that one little exchange. She wrote back saying, wow, you remembered me. You remembered us. That's really special. That's really, she was just like blown away by the fact that I remembered her. And so it can be small things like that that make this huge difference in connecting to your people. I can go through my communities and remember things about, something special about almost every single person that I'm dealing with, and especially in the current mentoring groups, for example, something about them that makes them unique, something about their story, something they can bring into their business. And so that creates a positive experience. People want to be recognized. They want to be remembered. They want to be noticed. How can you do things like that in your business? How can you surprise your clients? We have surprises along the way in my highest level program that they find along the path, so to speak, Easter eggs, as they're often referred to, where there's surprises that end up getting sent to them. And so creating a quality experience that adds extra benefit, adds extra value, and being aspirational, being motivational, delivering what you promise and beyond, but always delivering what you promise. And the more you can do any kind of personalization and showing personality, you can personalize just in emails, for example. You can build that in with the technology to just help someone feel more connected to you. Certainly bringing your personality into it and not feeling like I just have to try and be like someone else. I have to try and imitate somebody else's thing. There's a difference between hacking or emulating or using something as an example and just kind of disappearing into the woodwork yourself, instead of stepping forth in all of your marketing and actually showing up as you. Okay, show up and be you, because there's something unique about you. There's something unique about your vision, your voice, your message, your experience, all of those things that are going to be helpful to the people you serve. So don't be afraid to create something new. Don't be afraid to kind of step off the path of the mainstream and think, you know what, if you have a driving, just an inspiration, something that you can't shake, something that just continues to come to you thinking, what if I did this? What if I tried this? Well, what if you did? And what if it was like amazing and it really worked? And so don't be afraid to rock the boat, and do something. We use things like strategies and tactics and templates and all of these things that can be helpful tools, but don't be afraid to strike out a little bit on your own and try something new. If it's something, you may create a whole new deal in your business, right? Just by being brave. Be brave and be bold and be findable, all of those things. And this gets also to conversational copy. You hear a lot about how to have the conversation. There's some people making a big deal out of it. There's all these special things. I've been teaching conversational copy for the whole entire time that I've been sharing how to write copy, and basically writing like we talk, and not only how we talk, but what we are actually saying. What are your clients actually saying to you, to their community, in social media, about the topics, about the thing you have, about something related to what you're doing? What are people actually saying, and how are they saying it? How do you reflect that in your copy? And do reflect that in your copy. Your clientele, your audience can literally tell you how to write the copy a lot of the time. and so that it's very relatable. It's very current. It's very relationship based, right? And so reflecting their words, reflecting their thoughts, and always remember you're going to get what you give. When you give value, when you really truly care, you cannot fake that, right? So if you don't really truly care, you might want to do something else, but unless you're just one of those hit and run marketers, just want to grab the money and go. And absolutely nothing wrong with making heaps of money. I want you all to make heaps of money, but in a way that's serving your clientele and gives the value back to them of what they invest in. And you need to value yourself first, in the sense of how you are pricing your programs, how you are pricing your products and your training. If you don't reflect that value in yourself, if you don't trust yourself enough to invest at a high level for yourself, how can you expect anyone else to do that with you? You're not going to get what you don't give, all right? So when you get more when you give more. And when I talk about giving more, I mean you walk the walk yourself. I just invested probably the most I've ever invested for 30 days of working with one particular individual. Very high, a 5-figure investment. And because I understand the value of what I'm going to get from that, and I also own the value of what I bring to the table and what I give for my clients. And that's what you need to do. Because when you do that, you're going to be remembered. You're going to be not only will you remember your clients, but they remember you. And that's what Disney's all about, because it's about creating a legacy that lives beyond you. It's about creating something that shifted people's lives, that outlives you, right? And that's what we can create in our businesses. It's an amazing opportunity and such a level playing field, really, to be able to do that in your business and for yourself and for those you serve as well. So number 4, you're going to create we had the memorable. Now we're going to create a tribe of rabid fans, right? Create your tribe, create your posse, create your group. And rabid fans is kind of the key to this as well, that we want our people to be just really loyal and stick like glue because of the experience they have with you. Oh, that rhymes. I can't help it. So we create a community around the brand, okay? Super fans that identify with what the brand is. And I kind of don't love the word brand, but for lack of a better one, that's, what's the whole atmosphere of your business? What is the whole persona of your business? How do you come across? Is it consistent? Is it inviting? Is it enticing? Is it intriguing? Does it create curiosity? Does it create momentum? Is it polarizing? There's so many different aspects to be thinking about with your business. And what basically we want super fans, right? The super posse, the super fans that identify with what the program is about. Disney is a prime example of this, all right? Disney fans, I'm telling you, I've never seen so many grown-ups dressed in all kinds of Disney regalia. It is a source of fascination to me. That's not something that I relate to, is to wear a Mickey Mouse shirt or something like that, but it's just super fascinating to watch and observe. Like I said, even with the worst, hottest temperatures and humidity, there's still people in the Star Wars area wearing, carrying lightsabers and wearing flowing robes and all of it, and many other aspects of that. I saw young women dressed in sort of fairy-like dresses that look very expensive, by the way. They're spending the day at Disney like that, right? Some other things on the top of my head of different groups, like Harley Davidson, Harley people. Those are rabid fans, right? That a lot of times they're like older. They might work on Wall Street or something, but they got their Harley. They relate to the persona of it. They identify with it. Parrot heads. I talked about that in a previous broadcast. Jimmy Buffett and Marcus Margaritaville. That, I always want to say, like, grown people doing this stuff, of wearing the clothes or doing the thing or singing the song or knowing the verse of where they're supposed to come in with it. Or, all of those different things. Jeep. Talked about Jeeps. I have something to show you here just from our Jeep experience, because we're Jeepers and have a lime green Jeep Rubicon that I tow behind this big mobile office. And there's a thing that I don't even know who started this. They started a thing called ducking, D-U-C-K-I-N-G. And so the idea is that if someone who has a Jeep admires your Jeep, they leave behind a duck. Okay. So let me just show you what happened for us just at Disney. We got ducked 3 different times, because on the dashboard of a Jeep, there's this little indentation. And so now it's being called the duck pond. And you're supposed to line up your ducks in a row. Here's 3 of ours. Got this guy in camouflage. You line up your ducks in your duck pond, right? And so you might be left on the hood of your Jeep, or you come to open your door and you find out there's this little guy that's perched on the handle or the door handle. They usually have they always do have a tag that the person who did it it could be any kind of a tag. This just happens to be one example that the person who left it has literally bought all these little rubber ducks and attached tags, gone to all this work, tiny sunglasses, tiny little sunglasses, whatever it may be. And one very creative individual even grilled us. They left us a sparkly purple grill with a note. It had a tag attached to it for this looks like a Jeep grill. Okay. So we got ducked, we got grilled, right? Because we're part of the tribe. We're part of the secret society of the Jeeper, right? We understand the Jeep way. We understand ducking. and we get a kick out of it. It's like, oh, we got ducked. I took a picture of it. I sent it to someone. It's just really a funny thing. As a matter of fact, when we went on Amazon to buy some little ducks, we thought, well, we could be ducking people too when we're out and about. They were out of purple. What? So I'm just saying, there's a little crazy time all over the place for a lot of us of something that we belong to, or that, the inner workings of the tribe, the secret language, all the stuff. And so another one would be funnel hackers. Oh my gosh, right? Funnel Hacking Live is coming up at the end of September. I'll be there. Will you be there? Because if so, give a shout out. It'd be fun to say hey to you. But I'll be having a little event there for my inner circle people. I'll be there for a week, right? And so, I'm pretty sure I might be the first person to arrive in Florida for Funnel Hacking Live, because we got here like 2 weeks ago and we're staying all the way through for some other events as well. So, and hey, my own tribe, shout out to Celestial Sherpas. That's what my tribe is called. And there's a whole story behind that, but just know it's Celestial Sherpa, and we do love our purple, right? And so that's part of my tribe, my society, my inner workings, my secret club, so to speak. And basically, you're creating a culture. Shout out to all the Celestial Sherpas that are on the call too, right? You're creating your own culture. And creating, Disney has definitely created that cult-like following. Funnel hackers are pretty much a cult-like following. I'm working my way up to a cult-like following, but not everyone's going to do it at the Disney level, obviously, right? It's just massive, and it's been going since the 20s. All of those things. But you know what? Here's the good news. You don't have to. You don't have to do it at that level. You can create a small and loyal community who loves and supports your brand, your mission, your statement, your vision, and it can be one of your most valuable assets, because it's also like folks that will go forth and spread the word. So tell someone else they support you. They do testimonials. They do spontaneous commenting on your things. They create little videos for you. All these things that help you. And so why? Why do people do this? Why do they want to be part of this? Because we love being part of something bigger than ourselves. Because it's why people join churches. It's why people join clubs. It's why people join organizations. Good and bad. There's both sides of that, but we're speaking about just really, positive vibe, fun things. Not that we're not trying to destroy a society or anything like that, but just we want a shared experience. We want to know that you're not alone in the world. When we get our little duck for our duck pond, we're part of that Jeep community, for example. They want to identify with something. We all want to identify with something. We all want to believe in something, for most of us, right? And so, that included us getting ducked and grilled at Disney, and actually at Fort Wilderness. This is where all of these happen within the RV. It's one of the resort locations for Disney is Fort Wilderness, and that's where we stayed. So it's a shared vision, it's a shared mission, it's shared goals, and it creates happiness, it creates inspiration, it creates joy, it creates memories. All of these things can happen just from having that community. And a lot of us have, the simplest way we do it is a Facebook community, right? We have a private Facebook group that goes with our business or something that we're doing. But there's many other ways you could do this. You could have a high level investment into a club, so to speak, of people that you've worked with, that you've invited in. You could have a very much an inner sanctum. It often happens there's another type of community that can happen from masterminds and from inner circles and that kind of stuff. A lot of ways to do this in your business. And so that's one way of doing those things. Be clear about, though, you need to really be clear about your big why, your mission. What is your purpose? If you don't have one, you better think about that. You need to spend some time on that, of what is the reason beyond the obvious. It's always that, right? Of why you are in business in the first place, why you're doing what you do in the first place. Do you have a purpose? Do you have a mission? Is this just like, I just want to make a bunch of money and disappear? Or do you have a bigger vision of legacy and your destiny and something you're called to do and something that you know you're meant to do, that's something bigger, your divine assignment. That's pretty darn big, right? When you step into that. Because remember, always remember, your clients, your customers, your potential customers, they are not buying the thing. We're not buying the Jeep 4 doors, right? We're not buying a trip to an amusement park when we go into Disney World. We're buying into the vision and the result. What was the result of us going to Disney World? Making memories, having joyful moments, stepping away from the quote real world and just being fully immersed in something bigger than us, beyond ourselves, putting ourselves literally into the story, which Disney helps you do on every single one of their experiences, right? So you're buying into the vision, you're buying into the result, you're investing in an experience. Now, and this can be in business, not just in, going on rides at Disney World. You're investing in an experience that you're going to have with that individual or company that you've invested with. You're investing in proximity. You're investing by being able to be in the room where it happens. You're investing in being able to be in a coaching or mentoring capacity where you can ask questions and get your copy critiqued, or where you are learning firsthand from the person who's blazed the trail before you, that you are investing in that and knowing that you're going to get that return on investment if you implement what you're being taught. So, maybe we're not all going to build, probably not, Disney level empires, right? But if you use stories, if you sell the results, if you're memorable, and if you create a base of devoted fans, you will build your own unique pathway to success. And so what I want you to do is go forth and make that memorable magic in your business. Because when you do that, you're going to open the doorways to your own success. You're going to open doors for those you serve. You're going to create options. You're going to establish relationships. You're going to change lives. You're going to make more money. You're going to help them make more money if you're in that type of business, or get healthier, or have happier children, or be able to buy a custom home, or be able to sell homes and have or invest in properties. There's so many different things, so many things. There's so many niche markets that you can affect lives with, but always, again, more than the obvious, always about that result. So go forth, make memorable magic, right? And I would love it if you would please share the magic. If you would subscribe, if you would comment, if you would share, if you will come back again soon when I'm doing these videos. I try to be every week. My intention is, I try not to use the word try. Also, my intention is not to use the word try, but to be here every week, at least for the next while of doing these live, and being able to answer a need you might have to learn something more about how something can help you in your business. And I hope that that's what's happening today for you. I see we have lots of comments. I'm going to take a quick look here. I see some yay Sherpas and someone saying good blessings, and the original Mickey Mouse Club. Somebody else remembered that one too. You know what that means? We're kind of vintage. Good morning from Chicago. And the visual, the emotional experience, not just laying bricks, building a castle. Exactly right. We remember how people make us feel, and I hope that I'm making you feel a certain kind of way when you join with me, when you are in my programs, when you experience any of the videos I do. And someone says someone that they had so many positive comments about the copy that they delivered to add her holy. You know what? She said she felt like your writing is so beautiful, and it's like you were in my head. This is someone that's been in my program and has learned from me. So that is love that. And somebody said, I love the duck fun. I bet I know who that is. Eunice, is that you? Because on StreamYard, it just shows you as Facebook user. So now Pat Hauser says she wants to buy a Jeep. And remember, people were putting flamingos in the yard. Yeah, I mean, just fun things. I mean, hey, if we can't have some fun with life, I mean, come on now. That's part of the joy of it, right? And make memorable magic. That's right. Someone said that is a tricolon, and it absolutely is. If you don't know what one is, you better join my Cashflow Copywriting Challenge, because I'll teach you all about it. So anyway, that's it for today. Time for me to go on to my next stop today is my mentoring group. So I'm going to see all of them in just a few minutes, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's giving you some ideas of how, when you talk business, when you go to Disney, and it just might even be a business expense, it's a business trip as well. So when you're thinking about your business and doing something business oriented while you're there. So I'm in the mobile office. I will be for the next many weeks. So I'll be doing my videos from here. I hope you enjoy that aspect too, and think about what you might want to be able to do, where you might want to be able to go. How would you love to be able to travel and still make money every single day from while you're doing the fun stuff too. And actually my business is fun. I really do enjoy what I do in my business, because if it isn't, then why bother, right? All of that. So that's it for now. I'll be talking to you again soon. Until next time, go out there, make magic for your life and your business, and make memories for yourself, your family, and those you serve. And thanks for being here today with me. I hope it's made a little memory for you as well. And I'll be talking to you again real soon, because it's time to put some magic in your business. And I hope I've helped you do that today. Goodbye for now, and I'll talk to you